everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things. And today, I have July's update and August TBR. August. So I am recording this. It is August 1st. You'll see this later this month. I don't know what day, the first Tuesday of the month. I'm tired. I don't know what's happening. It's my birthday month, which means it's also my kid's birthday month. And I got a lot of stuff going on. Okay? So, hopefully this video doesn't need too many edit process and I can just throw all my pictures in where they need to be. My kid told me she wants an Animal Crossing themed birthday. So now I'm making trees for our hallway, and I'm gonna do the presents from me and my husband are gonna be in boxes hanging from the ceiling, and then when we get closer to the actual day, I'm gonna blow up some balloons, and it's gonna be like the Animal Crossing balloon box things. I don't know how else to explain that. And anyway, I don't even know what I'm doing for my own birthday. And all of my nail polish popped off, and I'm very sad about it. So I have to make time for that also. But that's not why you're here. You're here for my update, right? What did I actually read in July? So, let's first look. Hold on, I gotta do something with the string hanging. It was tickling my leg. Let's first look at what my TBR was. Okay. So, we're just going to jump right in. July's TBR was to listen to The Midnight Feast, read Sisters of Summer's End, read The Stonewalker, Bear Grylls book, a Bear Grylls book. None of This Is True, Delicious in Dungeon, and a book from the Dresden Files. What did I actually read? Well, thank you for asking. I read The Midnight Feast, Fruit Basket, the fourth book in the series, and now it's gone. I have nothing else to listen to in that series, and I'm kind of sad because I love that. I love the Fruits Basket world. Death Mask, which is the Dresden File book. The Stonewalker book. None of This Is True I had to listen to because it was for book club. The Caretaker, Operation Robot Storm. Me and my kid read that one together and we finally finished it. Delicious in Dungeon 6 and Mexican Gothic. So, yeah, okay, bye. Just kidding. Before I go on, I'm going to show you the reviews before I do all of my stats and stuff. I do want to say the Bear Grylls book, I did not have access to that book, so I did not read it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get that book before the end of the year. So if I don't get to this book, that's why. I'm like, okay. Sisters of Summer's End. I started reading, and then it's very fall. I thought this was going to be summer because, I don't know, because of how the description was of the book. And, it says summer in it. Summer's End is a restaurant, apparently. But they're right at the beginning of fall in this book. So I decided that I would hold off on reading this one. Also, what I have read of this book, I don't know if this is going to be a book that I want to read. I wasn't too interested in it, how far I got. So we will get back to that later. Alright, so here are my reviews. Let me just get over to the first one. The first book, ooh, pretty. It's green. I don't know if you'll be able to see this review. The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. I started this one June 30th, 2026, and I finished it July 4th, 2026. I gave it 3.5 stars, 3.75 stars. One spice, a maybe. It was labeled as a mystery crime fiction, and part of it felt unnecessary. I made a whole video on this one, so feel free to go and watch my full video on it. But yeah, like looking back at this book, I'm like, still, it was good. It was good, but because there was like whole sections of the book that I was like, why? This wasn't necessary. And then one of the twists at the end, I was kind of like, yeah, okay. But the birds were good. Okay. Then I read Fruits Basket Another. This was the last one in the Fruits Basket Another series, and I'm sad. I really enjoyed. So the original series is better, but this one was good. I wish we had more with the kids with their parents, if that makes sense, because I feel like in the original series, the parents weren't involved because of I can't tell you because it'll spoil that book or that series. So yeah. I felt like because they were cycle breaking, I feel like the parents should have been more involved in this one. But that's fine. It was good. I started this one July 6th and I finished it July 9th. I gave it 4 stars because only like uh, only like a third of this book was Fruit Baskets Another. And then it went off on stuff that was missing from the original series, or like little stuff that we didn't see because it wasn't available yet, or it was once the TV show came out, they used to do like, oh, what's it called? I don't know what they're called, but like when you come back from the commercial, this could happen, or like it would be the characters bantering. So that was put into this book. So most of this book wasn't even Fruit Baskets Another. It was Fruits Basket. And if you'd never read Fruits Basket, you would not have understood what was going on. And some of it was unnecessary. It was like, this is your time to go to the bathroom if you're watching this show, because these people are just being silly and not actually have anything to do with the show. This is a young adult manga. Sort of has a little romance in it, but it's kind of dark. It's got a little dark side. But it's safe enough that I didn't feel too bad if my kid picked it up. She likes to pick. She likes to try to pick up my books and read them, and she can read them. That's the problem. Sorry, she can. Like if she picked it up, I wasn't like, oh, that means this, and we had to have an adult talk. This was just what's his name? I think they call him Shiki. I don't know. I'm bad at pronouncing white people names. Don't get me started on other people's names. um but he grew up with the trauma. Okay, so his mom in the original series was the bad guy because of how she was raised. And her mom was a monster, like her, like a human monster, like one of those. And so his mom was raised to be mean, and was also told that everyone was supposed to love her because she was a god. And so you see that he grew up with people associating him like that with his mom. Like, oh, I bet he's bad too because you remember how his mom was at that age and stuff like that. And people would give him slips of paper that'd be like, your mom is it evil, you're evil, like. And so in this one, he's coming to terms with it. And he's in middle school. So he's like 13, I believe, in this book. And he's like, I don't deserve to be treated like this. And he gets so angry that he punches a mirror, and like his attendants, because they're rich, they've got a lot of money, are like, oh my gosh, are you hurt? You know, all this stuff. And he's like, I'm sorry. And so later he goes to his parents and he explains the mirror and why he broke it. And he's like, just, I'll get a job and I'll pay for it myself. And his parents are like, oh, yay, you're acting like you're supposed to. You're acting like a teenager. Let's leave it to remember. And he's like, what? Because he's always been a weird kid. And so this is like the second time he's done something that he's supposed to do at not supposed, he shouldn't have broke the mirror, okay? But like talking to them about his emotions is what I mean. His first step towards that is when he starts showing interest in the main character girl, Swa Sawa, I think is how you say her name. Because for the most part they call each other, because of the uh my words. Can you tell that I'm tired? My brain is stuck on what I have to do after this. I need to focus. Um because they call each other by their last names in Japan. Um so yeah. He Towards the end of their part of the book, first he's like, someone loses papers, they go flying, and they all go chasing after it, and they catch the same paper, and they both sort of explode everything that's been happening because her mom is not a good mom. And he's like, can I call you by your first name? And she's like, yeah, everyone else does. um And the joke at the beginning of the series is, if you call us all Soma, it gets really confusing. So she's been calling everyone by their first name. Anyway, it was a good book, and then after all of the stuff from Fruits Basket, it goes back to Fruit Basket's another a few years later, and they've been dating, and it's like Mother's Day or something. And he's like, what if you got my mom flowers also? Because her mom, they don't celebrate. Her and her mom don't celebrate. It's sweet. And I got a little choked up. I was like, they're gonna be happy. Because they deserved it. It was a happy ending. Anyway, moving on. I've already talked too much about that book. Death Mask. This was my Dresden File book by Jim Butcher. And I started this one on June 30th. Also, I listened to it, but then I had to stop listening to it so I could go listen to another book. And then I came back to this one. Jim Butcher's books, I always like them. This one was 4 stars, and there was some spice in this one. Probably should have bumped it to a 1.5. To me, Jim Butcher writing adult scenes is weird. But I feel like it might have been necessary for the characters that happened to. Yes, I recommend the series. Okay, if you're over 18, I actually read the first book in this series when I was like 16. That was a long time ago, guys. I don't condone that. This is a contemporary fantasy fiction, and yeah, I can't. I don't want to tell you too much. What I have written here is fine. We see Thomas again. Thomas is one of my favorite characters in the whole entire series, and yeah. So my favorite quote is "Split up." So Sonia suggested. Michael and I said, "Bad idea," at precisely the same time. You never split up. That's dangerous. Susan comes back to say goodbye, and more. And we meet Butters for the first time. He's a coroner, and he actually plays a bigger role later in the series, along with Thomas. Thomas will pop up more later in the series. Thomas is older than Dresden, and he acts younger, and vampires can't get drunk, but he's pretending to be drunk in this, and it's really funny. We meet 2 more Knights of the Cross. There's 3 of them in this one, and it's so exciting and a little sad. A little sad. Um, let's see. What else did I put? Okay. Red Court Vampires. McCone is in this book acting like a true criminal boss. And also, he also is a good guy. um, because we find out some of his secrets, and even though he could, okay, I'm just gonna say it. He could have let Harry and Sonia die. They fell into the river. He could have left them there, but he fishes them out. He is a good guy. And the reason he stole the thing that they were all after, technically he paid for it. But didn't get it the way he wanted. Anyway, we find out it's for a kid. I'm just gonna say it's for a kid. We see Harry snap, and he's the bad guy. Just for a moment, throughout the whole book, he does have these darker thoughts, especially with Susan back in town, because she gives the we need to talk in person, and when Harry tells Murphy that, she goes, "Oh, well, I'm here if you need to talk afterwards." And he's like, "Well, what is that supposed to mean?" And she's like, "That's code for we're officially breaking up." And he's like, "Oh." And she's like, "But you already knew that. She hasn't been here for like 2 years, okay?" Um, and we meet Nicodemus. Also, Harry's on TV. Kind of explodes things. Yeah. So we're gonna move on. It was a really good book. I always enjoyed. I forgot how much I enjoyed this book, even though Susan was in it. Um, I can't wait for the next book. What's the next one? The next one is called Blood Rights. Okay, so the next book I read was Stonewalkers. I did a video on this one too. At least I should have. I'm pretty sure I did. By Vivian Alcock. I did not write when I finished this book, though. I must have made the video the same day. I gave it 3 stars. it wasn't. Honestly, if I would have picked it up as a kid, I would have put it back down. I would have been like, boring. But I stuck it out because it was 151 pages. This is definitely a summertime book. It does not let you forget that it's hot. Hot. I didn't like this book for several reasons, but it didn't age well. Hey, we talked about a girl that she wants to be her friend. In her head, she's like, oh, the fat girl's talking. And I'm like, that's rude. I'm not going to say much about this because I made a video on it. So we're going to move on and look. It's so pretty. I'm sorry, that was probably too loud. It could be prettier. I feel like I rushed this a bit because I was behind on doing my journaling stuff and I had read several books. And then I was like, oh man, I got to put all this in here and I was limited on time. So I just threw some stuff on here. I'm not a fan of the silver paper. And I didn't like it being plain behind the pictures. So I tried making it like a rainbowy sky and it looks kind of stupid. I could have done better, but I was in a rush. Then we have the first book in the flipped scenario. Now my pictures are on the bottom instead of the top because my book was getting a little, whenever you hold it here and then whenever you hold it here, you see the difference. And yeah, so I thought it was time to switch that around. Lisa Joel, none of this is true. I started this July 11th and finished it July 14th. And I gave it 4 stars and half a spice. I don't even remember why I gave it a spice. Oh, right. Because it talks about SA or the possibility of SA. Who knows? Who knows? None of this is true. That is a accurate title for this book. What's true? What's not true? What? What the heck? Like I put, what the heck did I just read? I don't even know what to believe. 2 ladies meet on their 45th birthday, and they're birthday twins, and they were even born in the same hospital. It was like, oh, ha ha ha. And one of them's a podcaster, and one of them, oh, and she has like on social media, her life is perfect, picture perfect, you know. She has the children and the husband and the money. And then the other one has grown children and an old husband because she in I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. She met him on her 13th birthday. Okay? And I don't know who groomed whom. Like, you have to listen to this book to understand. I can't talk about it accurately, but the one that got the older husband tells the podcaster that she should do a podcast on her because she is a lady who's about to change her life. And so she tells the podcaster some terrible things, and of course we believe it because like our podcaster does some research or some, talks to some other people. And then there's some twisty plot stuff that happens, and you're like, whoa, what? And then your podcaster's husband gets kidnapped by this old lady, the lady with the older husband. And it's just like, what? So a whole bunch of stuff happens in this book, and you don't know what's true. You don't know what's true and what's not true. And it was one of them that I was like, whoa. Like, I wanted to go back and listen to it again because I was like, did I misunderstand something? It was pretty good. It was our book club book, and then I read The Caretaker. Um, I really enjoyed this book. There are mixed reviews out there. There are some people that absolutely hated this book, but I liked this one. I gave it 4 stars and a yes, maybe. A yes, maybe. On if I recommend it. It's horror, suspense, and supernatural. And I don't know really how to talk about the supernatural part without giving away the ending. So we're just gonna not. And I don't know how to say this guy's name. Marcus something or other. I started this July 6th and finished it July 24th. And my favorite character was Gemma, even though you really only hear her in her sister's head. You meet her in the beginning of the book, and then maybe the end of the book. Maybe. I don't know how to explain that either. My favorite quote was, "Goodness and good aren't the same thing. When it starts and when it starts pouring out of nowhere, you're going to get soaked no matter what. So don't scramble for cover, just walk and focus on what you can control." And I really liked that. This book had a lot to do with depression and grief and how this person handles that. And there's not a lot, but there's a few times you see her dreams and you see flashbacks, and it's like, oh, okay. And sometimes her dreams are worse than what she's actually going through in the house. Also, she's dealing with the insurance company she talks to a lawyer a few times because the insurance company was supposed to pay if her dad passed away, and he went off a bridge when it was storming one night, and they're saying that he did it on purpose. And she's like, what? What would make them think that? People saw, they it didn't look like people said it didn't look like he just drove off the bridge. And apparently like 20 years before he had tried to off himself, and that is why the insurance company wouldn't pay out. You really feel the struggle in this book. If you've ever been without money or known someone who's been without money, this one might be one to read because you can feel how badly she needs the money. My favorite, okay, so the reason Gemma is my favorite character is because she's our main character's little sister. Macy is the main character. She's her little sister. And she loves horror movies, and she's the sister who's always like, "Oh my goodness, why would you go into the basement?" Or the front door was right there. Why did you go upstairs? And so like during the whole book, in Macy's head, you hear the commentary that Gemma would be giving to a horror movie, and it's like, yeah. I get that. And then I read Operation Robot Storm. I believe I did a video on this one already. This was part of the PaperPie reading challenge that I have going. By Alex Milway. Started it July 10th and finished it July 25th. I read this with my kid. We read like a chapter or part of a chapter every night. My only problem was that some of the chapters were very long. It is for like 10 and up, I think. So that makes sense. But at the same time, even as an adult, I don't want to read a chapter that's 15, 20 pages long, okay? I want to be able to read a chapter and be like, okay, I've read a chapter, I can put my book down and I can go do this, and then I'll come back and read the next chapter. But some of these chapters, I had to stop in the middle of the chapter because I was like, I can't keep my eyes open and you're sleeping. It was a good book though. I enjoyed it. My kid enjoyed it. We gave it 4 stars, and it's more of a middle grade book, I think, because of the adventure. Children's adventure fantasy is what it's labeled as. Yeah. Coffee break. It's gone cold because I'm recording this later than I wanted to. Anyway, next book that I read was Delicious in Dungeon 6. I would already have the 7th book, but the library that I get these books from is having an AC problem, and they closed down until they can get the AC fixed. So as soon as they're back open, I have it on hold, so all I have to do is go in and grab it. I don't even have to look for it, and no one else can take it first. 4 stars, always, for this series. Has not gotten boring yet. It's a little repetitive because they're fighting monsters in a dungeon. But it's not a bad repetitive, if that makes sense. I started this on July 24th and finished this July 28th, just because I was only really reading it before bed because I needed something not scary. I needed something not scary. I really enjoyed this one. This one had a friend. The first part of my review says, "Still full of fun. Friends fighting friends. Sisters a heartbeat. Shape shifters. Hag. Marcel held hostage. And the nightmares." Laos tells an old friend, someone who used to be part of their group, everything that's happened to them and the fact that they've used dark magic and that they've been eating the monsters that they've killed. And he punches him in the face. And then they just start fighting. And his name is Shuro. Shuro is like, and you never even realize that I'm not your friend. You're absolutely oblivious. And he's like, well, if you didn't want to be friends with me, you should have just said so. And they're like beating up each other, and he's like, I didn't think I needed to, because a normal person would have, caught on. Oh, I'm busy today. I can't hang out with you. Oh, tomorrow? Yep, busy tomorrow too. Oh, the next day? Definitely busy that day. And I never asked you to go anywhere. And there's like a flashback later. It shows that he would invite themselves on his sister and Shuro's date. And we find out that Shuro, I'm probably saying his name wrong. I feel like I'm pronouncing it weird. Asked his sister to marry him and all of this stuff. And there's 3 groups together now. And his sister is a harpy, and him and Shiro both are like, don't hurt her! So a bunch of people die. So they get resurrected. And yeah, a lot of other stuff happens in this one, and it was pretty good. And then the last book that I read for July is Mexican Gothic. I don't have a picture for it on mine yet, but you'll have a picture. I also didn't. Apparently, I didn't write my review for this. I must have just put it in Goodreads. I'll just give you a little update then. And the picture here will be, I'll put the picture up, so it's fine. Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Morano Garcia. I started this July 16th and I finished it July 31st. I listened to this one and I physically read it. Mostly because when I first started listening to it, it felt like they were saying some words wrong in the audio that I was listening to, and it felt better holding the book while I was listening to it. I gave this 3.5 stars. And like half a spice because there is I don't remember if there actually is any SA in this, but there's definitely talk of it. And brother-in-law gives creepy vibes, okay? Like, back up. You're married to my cousin who's like my sister, okay? Ew. Gross. I don't care how good looking you are. My favorite character was Francis. He was sweet and wholesome, and he tries to help her even when he doesn't think that he can leave. This book had very much vibes of like House of Usher and What Moves the Dead. It involves the mold and the fungus and the mushrooms and the messed up family vibes. Ew is all I'm gonna say. When you find out how long this man's been alive and how he stays alive, and I put this as a ghost story also because technically you do talk to a ghost. It had like a creeping dread. This book had like the creeping dread. You didn't know what was true. At some point I was like, oh, they're poisoning her. She's hallucinating. This isn't real. Our main character first starts dreaming. When she first gets there, she starts dreaming of the past and stuff that's happened at this house. And before she even knows the history, she starts dreaming of Ruth, which has a backstory. Ruth, there's a lot of female oppression in this book, and to the point where I was like, look, they would have burned me at the stake. And this is the 1950s, I think is when this was written, so it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and there were a lot of similarities to What Moves the Dead, for sure. The house vibes. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to the beginning, and I'll show you my little. Hold on. I had to go check on the kid. She's been too quiet. She's watching Gabby Dollhouse. Okay. So first, let's take a look at my little bookshelf. Got some more on here. And I'll probably need to make another bookshelf before the year is over. But yeah, it's looking good. And then I did. I checked off Death Mask on the Jim Butcher book. So, yay, I checked one off my series tracker. I've decided that this month's book of the month was The Caretaker. Because I enjoyed it so much. And I made the mistake of reading this one at night. And I've been wearing a sleep mask to sleep, and I had to keep taking the sleep mask off and being like, um, yeah, fun times. So I lost some sleep. In my rereads list, I added Death Mask by Jim Butcher because I have probably read it 3 or 4 times. And then my year at a glance, I read 9. My year at a glance. We're gonna do this month. I read 9 books, which was 1,361 pages, and I listened to 43 hours and 43 minutes, a total of 126 chapters, and that is because that one of those books that I listened to, every person was a new chapter, and you went back and forth quite a bit, and I was just like, oh my goodness. So like the chapters were like, there was like it was like 100 something chapters in one of the books that I read. The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley had 112 chapters in it because it went back and forth like that. So amazingly. I owned 5 of these books, and I borrowed 4 from the library. Technically, I borrowed Mexican Gothic twice from the library because I had it on Libby and I borrowed it from the library physical copy. And then 3 of them were on my Audible because I've been getting them on Libby. Mostly because I'm trying to I'm hoarding my credits from Audible because I know that there's a few books in the Jim Butcher series, the Dresden File series, that we don't have. They're not really part of the series, but they're like extra bits. I just want to get them all. Okay. July's longest book was Mexican Gothic at 11 hours and 38 minutes. And my shortest book was Stonewalkers at 151 pages. To my books not read, I have added The Bear Grylls and Sisters of Summer's End because, like I said, that is a fall book. Alright, so I got to check off Midnight Feast on the 2026 Adult Reading Challenge. I think that's it. Because the other adult one that I was going to read this month was, yeah. And then I read Stonewalkers, which was on the 2026 Preteen Teen Reading Challenge. And I read Operation Robot Storm off of the PaperPie Reading Challenge, and that is book 3 on the challenge. Because I didn't have the Bear Grylls book. And then I am doing good. Look, I just want you to see. Look, my book club book, I'm all caught up because I go to book club every month, so I have to listen to that book. And my preteen teen reading challenge, those books are short and sweet. Well, mostly short and sweet, and they're easy to get through. So I'm up to date with those 2. The other ones are not so good. So in my A to Z challenge, I added Midnight Feast for M, and none of this is true for N. So now all I need is E, J, Q, R, V, Y, and Z. So if you have any suggestions for any of those, please let me know in the comment section. I do know that R is taken care of because it's Remains is one of the books for my book club book. So that one will be taken care of. The other ones, I don't have. I'm not positive. Like I have some suggestions written in, but it's trying to find them. Yeah, my reading rainbow is still done. And then let me just show you my little pastel summer scream challenge. I read outside. Technically, I listened outside while mowing the yard. I got through, like, I was listening to, what's it called? The Outlander book. I did not finish the Outlander book. I am back in line for it. But technically, I got to mark off because I did. Yeah. My free scream spot, I put in The Caretaker because it wasn't. I had picked it up because I thought it was going to be a haunted house book, and then it wasn't, and it didn't really fit anywhere else. So I was like, yeah, we'll put it there. And then read until midnight. I've been reading the book called Full Tilt. It's also going to be for the fairground carnival section up there once I'm finished with it. And the haunted house, I put Mexican Gothic as the haunted house because technically we do talk to a ghost. So, and the end is very there. Yeah. See my other little challenges that I have going on. I have not added anything to any of those. So let's go look at the Goodreads challenge. I wrote in for the caretaker for the chart toppers and Mexican Gothic for fact or fiction. I think that's all I have to talk about for this. I have not read any NetGalley books. So let's move on to what am I going to read in August? My August TBR is Simon versus the Homo sapiens Agenda, The Haunting of Sunshine Girl, Sweet Valley High's Double Love, Bully on the Bus, and the guest list also the Dresden File book, and a Delicious in Dungeon book. Duh, obviously. And that is that. So let's move on. Let's move on to what's next to my bed. I feel like I'm like a game show. What's next to my bed? So I have Full Tilt next to my bed right now, although I haven't really been reading it in bed. I've been reading it more outside of my bed. I'm about half done. Like, literally, I think I have 100 pages left. It's a short book. It's only a short book. So far, it's pretty good. 16-year-old Blake has always been responsible one in a dysfunctional family. The one who drives safely, gets good grades, and looks after his wild younger brother, Quinn. Quinn is his brother's opposite, a thrill seeker who always chases the next scary rush no matter the cost. But Quinn and Blake are in for the surprise of their lives when they're thrust into the world of bizarre phantom carnival. And their souls are the price of the admission. In order to save his brother and himself, Blake must survive 7 different carnival rides before dawn. 7 rides, it sounds easy, but each ride is full of unexpected danger, because each ride is a reflection of one of Blake's deepest fears. And the last one is the worst of all, because that's the one that confronts Blake with the terrifying secret from his past. A secret he's been running from for years. So far, we find out that he's smart. He's going to college early for early admittance, and his brother Quinn is very jeweled up for a 13-year-old, if you will, and he does a lot of things at once. He doesn't like it to be quiet, and sometimes they'll be talking to him and he'll just like, and when he comes back, he's like, oh, this, and like, also he might have depression, not our main character, well, maybe our main character, but the 13-year-old. So far, it's been pretty good. Typical. Each ride starts out like a normal ride, and then the ride changes. Also, you keep meeting this woman. Next to my bed is The Wrong Hostage. I still have not gotten to this one. I will eventually. And Twisted, I still think I've read this one. I probably should just start it and then be like, yeah, I've read this, or no, I haven't. Princess Bride. Those are the ones I have not gotten to. I started the Sisters of Summer's End. I'm 34 pages in. Okay, look, chapter 1 was 34 pages long. Okay, that's a problem. That's too long. Also, I feel like this might be a romance, and her inner thoughts are already making me like, ew, I don't want to be here. But they're getting ready for Halloween and a Halloween festival that they do every year, and it's going to go on the back burner because I'm not really interested in the book, and I'm not ready to read about Halloween yet. I have been working on Everything Eventual because if I don't find an actual book that starts with E, then this will be my letter E for the A to Z challenge. I'm on the second story in this book, and yeah, they're short stories, so I can't really tell you anything without giving it away. I did just start the Heat Wave. I think I'm 2 chapters in. 1 chapter in. Chapter am I on? They're not. Oh yeah, right. They're not chaptered. I'm gonna have to go through and count each one. They're yeared. Yeah, it's written each. It's by years, so it's gonna jump around too. So we start July 1993, and I'm somewhere in that, but it has like page breaks, so that's good. And then let's see, what else do I see in here? 1993, 1974, 19. Oh, we're gonna go back and forth between the 70s and the 90s. It looks like, but at least it sounds interesting so far. What's going next to my bed now? And then next to my kid's bed is breaking news, the Max and Kinsey book that's on the PaperPie reading challenge, because I've started reading with my kid. Also, very long chapters and very detailed. This is for an older kid. I probably should have not started reading it with her because it's also a chunky book. So now, Double Love is going next to my bed. This one is a short one. This was my mommy's book, and now it's mine. Let's see, how many pages? 182, I think. Make sure that's not like the next. Yeah. 182 pages. Should be fast. There's a sticker on it. Look, it went from a Walmart to a library where I got it in a fill-a-bag sell. Oh, hate when that happens. Try to pull off the tag and it's just like, no. Anyway, Simon and the Homo sapiens agenda. This one sounds interesting. I haven't seen the TV show, so I don't know anything about this. Hopefully this isn't like the second book or whatever. Looks like, oh, that's a different book. Hold on. Acknowledgements. 303 pages. So shouldn't take me too long. It's also like spaced nicely, and you have like email stuff, and I think I saw some text message thingies earlier when I was flipping through. So hopefully this is good. This is the one that's on the adult reading challenge, because I wasn't sure the content in it, so I was like, better safe than sorry. And then you have, this was also my mommy's book, and she gave it to me. She gave me the whole series. The Haunting of Sunshine Girl. I'm holding the book upside down. It looks like 294 pages, so hopefully that's an easy one to get through. And then the Bully on the Bus. This one I might read to my kid instead of the one that we have. Oh, it's like a poem book. I think I figured this out earlier. It's poems. It's little poems. This is cute. You know what? Yeah, I think I'm going to read this one to my kid instead of the other one. There's only 136 pages, so, well, that's the author's acknowledgement stuff. So, 133 pages. And yes, I am also about to start listening to Voyage of the Damned, I believe is what it's called, because I have it on Libby. It went through. Yep. Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. It's 15 hours long. And then whenever I look at my holds, it says Onyx Storm is available soon. So I'll be listening to that also, and I can't wait. And then I have the Dresden book on Audible. And in physical form up there. Way up there. Like you can see up there. So that's that. That was my journal and books. And yeah, let me know, what did you read in July? And have any of the books that I'm going to be reading for August, have you read them and did you like them? I want to know. I want to know what I'm in for. Like this video if you like this video. Comment below what you're reading. And give me suggestions on any books that you think that I should put on my big long TBR, for adult books or kid books, and so that I can start prepping next year's reading challenges out. Wish me a happy birthday if you've gotten this far, or something, because I need some good luck. Um, I got. If you don't see me for a while, it's because I gotta make all these decorations for my kid's birthday. I'm par baking. Is that what it's called? When you bake the pizzas so that they're done, but they're not like crunchy bottom. You know what I mean? Like I'm making them so they hold together enough for me to stick them in the freezer so that I can just pull them out the day of and bake them. So I'm working on that. I need to make cookie dough because we're gonna do cookies and strawberry cupcakes for her party. I need to make her birthday shirt. Guys, I was trying to find, like the the iron-ons that are like flat, not bulgy. You can go like this too. They're not heavy. Um, to order to be mailed to me, and all of the places with the little decal thingies are like, oh, you can order it and then print it off yourself. And I'm like, I don't have that kind of printer. I don't have the right printer for that. Um, I need to be able to iron it onto my kid's shirt, and I don't have the right ink and all that stuff to do that. So that's not going to work. So now I'm gonna try to. I think I still have some transfer paper, and I'm gonna draw out. I'm gonna draw out some of the Animal Crossing characters and then paint them onto the shirt. Um, wish me luck. Uh, it should be fun, but at the same time, I'm like, that's so much work. And then my birthday is the 7th, and I don't even know what I'm gonna do for my birthday yet. I know I need to do my nails again. Uh Maybe I'll just take a bath that day. Just soak the whole day. No one bother me. I'm gonna turn into a prune. Um I'm just gonna sit and read all day. I don't know yet because you gotta clean the house and all that stuff. And then I'm setting up like a little scavenger hunt thing. Because if you know Animal Crossing, you find the bugs and butterflies and fish and all that stuff. So I'm gonna try to do some indoor activities because I know I'm gonna have like the pools and stuff set up outside. They're kiddie pools, and like half of the kids coming are too big for the kiddie pools now, so they just like jump in and jump out and jump in and jump out. So um I don't know. Um if I have time, I'll draw up some Animal Crossing stuff and stick them to my fence so that it's decorated out there too, but I'm not hopeful on that. And yeah, so and then I also need to take pictures for my kids, because it's like the beginning of school and my kid is turning 6, so I like to take pictures of that so I can get them printed out for our family. And then I also still need to collect all the stuff for school because we're starting school August 10th. So it's just a lot of stuff going on. So please bear with me and go watch some of my old videos if you want to keep supporting me. Um, in the description, there will be links for my Google Docs for all of the challenges I'm doing in case you want to do them too. And I'll have links for where to get the books. If you use my link to get a book, you might be supporting me money-wise. I don't know how that works because what I'm posting down there is a wish list link. So I don't know if I still get pennies for the books that you buy. Who knows? I'm too tired to look it up. So wish me luck, and hopefully the next time I come on here, I have a book review to do, and I'm like, look, I look so pretty because I celebrated my birthday. Um, we'll see what happens. So that's that. Subscribe if you're still here, because I babbled for like an hour, and if you're still here, cool. Subscribe. Go check out my other stuff. And I do a lot of book videos if you like books. And share this video because sharing is caring and someone might enjoy these kind of videos. So, yeah. Now I have to edit this video and get it posted. So I will see you on my next video. Bye!